recommendations. Madam Speaker, inconsistencies in recurrent expenditures. The committee noted inconsistencies between the figures appearing under votes, namely votes 018 and 932, with what was approved by Parliament as indicated in the table below. Vote 018, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. Whereas Parliament approved 3,718,892 shillings, the supplementary appropriation bill captured 7,594,719,000, and that introduced a variation of an excess, an additional 4,118 shillings. Under vote 932, Tororo District, whereas the committee had approved 5,276,514 shillings, 435 shillings, 414,435 shillings. The appropriation bill had 5,267,514,000, and it was less by 9,435 shillings. Inconsistency in the development expenditures. There were also inconsistencies between the figures appearing under vote 701 and vote 703 with what was approved by Parliament as indicated in the table below. Vote 701, Apache Municipal Council. Whereas Parliament approved 3,897,379,041 shillings, the appropriation bill had 879,893,000. It was a variation of, it was less by 17,486,041 shillings. Vote 703, Bushenyi Ishaka Municipal Council. Parliament had not provided or approved any money, but there was supplementary in the supplementary appropriation bill, 17,486,000 was introduced, and that was not approved by Parliament. So, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, as illustrated by the tables above, the committee notes that the supplementary appropriation bill contains amounts expended in respect of some votes, contrary to what was approved by Parliament. This is contrary to Article 156.3 that provides that the supplementary appropriation bill shall provide for the appropriation of the sums so approved by Parliament and for the purposes specified in those estimates. The committee further notes that the entire column 2 of the schedule to the bill contains amounts expended to all votes by rounding off the figures to the nearest 1,000, contrary to the actual figures that were not rounded off, which were approved by Parliament. Madam Speaker, the committee has put as Annex 1 and 2 a comparison of the figures contained in the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023 and the figures contained in the resolution of Parliament and are attached as Annex 1 and Annex 2. In conclusion, Madam Speaker and colleagues, the committee recommends that the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023 be passed into law subject to the proposed amendments below.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable. The minor, I thought we were getting the minority first.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Because of the nature of the bill that we are dealing with, you will notice that whether it's the committee report, whether it's the minister's talking points, they are all short. I may not want to say it the way it is, but actually we're just performing a ceremony. This money, we passed it.
Post-mortem.
this money we passed it, but the law says because you did an appropriations act, any additional funding you do an act like you did. So, Madam Speaker, the minority report is 1 page and a half. Some of the information is just to bring it to the attention of Parliament. I don't have to repeat the figures that the chair has given that makes that a total. But just to refresh your mind, honorable members, you remember when we are dealing with this supplementary budget, this is when government spent money on Munyonyo and came back here. And that money was approved by Parliament, unfortunately. Yeah, that is my opinion. You have yours. Again, there was also money for Atiak in these supplementary requests, which was also approved by Parliament. So the point of dissent, the first one is on non-compliance with the law. The Public Finance Management Act makes it a requirement that every bill presented to Parliament shall be accompanied by a certificate of financial implication. This bill does not have a certificate of financial implication. This certificate under Section 76 of this Act state that the certificate shall indicate the estimates of revenue and expenditure over a period not less than 2 years after the coming into effect of the bill when passed. There was an attempt, okay, let me read. The bill has a commencement date as July 1st, 2022. There was an attempt in the committee to say that since this is a post-mortem, you don't need it, but it has a commencement date. The certificate shall indicate the impact of the bill on the economy. This, in simple terms, means total amount to be spent on implementation of the law and expected revenue. In this case, if you have foregone any amount, this Parliament should recall that this supplementary was financed through borrowing of 1 trillion from domestic financial institutions. $1,698 was expected from World Bank. 587 billion, I beg your pardon there, from URA. We therefore think that Parliament should have been briefed, and that's the matter that MPs earlier spoke about, just to be briefed. It's not a requirement, but it should have been briefed on the money you went to borrow. Did you borrow? Did you spend it? And then finally, Madam Speaker, when you look at the report of the Auditor General on the same financial year, the Auditor General has a different figure of the total supplementary budget, which is 4.4 trillion. That's on page 19. So can the Minister help us as we move to perform this function, whether we may not need a reconciliation with what Auditor General, and the reason I'm saying this, all the reports that are brought here by Minister of Finance, they're actually conflicting with the Auditor General. When they brought a report on the public debt, they said the total public debt is 84 trillion. The Auditor General says 97. So don't we need a reconciliation to be sure that as we close that financial year, we are actually using the right figure? Because that's, if the Minister doesn't have, I can give him pages of the Auditor General. So, Honourable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Auditor General. Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honourable Honourable Sechku. Thank you very much, Honourable Semuju. The comments are well received. I think the only, while the points you raise are important for the Public Accounts Committee and the Committee of the House that deals with scrutinizing the budget estimates and how they have worked to look at these, we need to be careful not to mix up appropriation and budget, because government may have a budget, a plan, and say I want to spend 20 trillion, for example, but Parliament only appropriates 2 trillion. Then that means the other part which was not appropriated by Parliament was not actually dealt with. So while we take that point strictly, I think today we need to address our mind to the monies that were appropriated by Parliament. And the committee has said very well that yes, what was appropriated by Parliament is the only thing that should go into the bill. And that is what is important. Beg to submit.
Madam Speaker, I just want to the Attorney General to help. You are talking of a supplementary of 2022-23. That account was closed and the Auditor General has audited. I want us to start from there. The Auditor General has audited. The report is already in the House. Now, what is this supplementary you're bringing when the financial year is closed? No, that's an appropriation bill. Why you see, the Auditor General was given appropriation, which he issued a warrant, which he has audited, and he has produced the accounts. Now you are coming again for another appropriation, which you want the Auditor General to give a warrant and audit. Which accounts is he going to call this time?
I think here what the member raised is actually important, and I've taken note of that, and Honorable Semju also raised it. I think there is a need to tweak the law a little bit, because what we are doing here is what the law says. The Public Finance Management Act requires, Section 25 requires us to have a supplementary appropriations bill. Only difference, it did not tell us when. And I think what is important is for us to put the when in the law on this.
Madam Speaker, the Auditor General audits the appropriation. What you are bringing now, if we appropriate, who is going to audit? And if it's the Auditor General, he's going to name it which year, which financial year.
Honorable Nathan, I want to refer you to Article 156, 156(2)A. If in respect of any financial year, it is found that the amount appropriated for any purpose under Appropriation Act is insufficient, or that there is need as reason for expenditure for the purpose for which no amount has been appropriated by that act, or that any monies have been expended by any purpose in excess of the amount appropriated for that purpose, or for purpose for which no amount has been appropriated by the Act. A supplementary estimate showing the sum required or spent shall be laid down before Parliament in the excess of excess expenditure within 4 months after the money has been spent.
Madam
Which
Speaker,
we have been doing.
Madam Speaker, that's why whatever you're bringing is within the year, exactly under 4 years. For example now, Madam Speaker, you have read the Constitution, is very clear, and the PFM. What it says
You know what they have been bringing is a schedule. Now we are bringing in a bill to consolidate all of them. Consolidate them and have an act once it is assented to.
Right,
Yes,
Honorable Speaker.
Madam Speaker, you have actually guided right that if you read Article 56, 3, Article 56, 3, 156, it actually allows for that appropriation bill to be brought in the next financial year, which is okay. But the fundamental question here is, was that money actually spent? I think that is the fundamental question the minister must address us on, so that what we are going to approve must be the money which was spent, because now
And
the financial year has passed.
that-
So we are doing both accountability
No.
and the action of approving.
Honorable members, that's what you ought to do during your oversight role. That's why we have such committees. And it is the Auditor General who is supposed to find out whether there is money spent or unspent funds. That one is something that we should be able to handle.
You are right. That's our job. And the reason why
Honorable members,
the framers said-
before we first go far, I have visitors here who want to go away. In the public gallery, this afternoon. No, I have a guest, a delegation from Bukedia district, represented by Honorable Ikojo, Honorable Polot. Where are you? Stand up. From the district, and Honorable Anita Among. You're most welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Deamuko is there. Thank you so much for coming. And they are here to observe the proceedings. Honorable members, we also have a delegation of leaders from Busongora County, South Kasese. Where are you? They are there. They are represented by Honorable Thembo Gideon Mujungu and Honorable Florence. They include Kananura John Bosco, LOC3. Welcome. Kachanchu Bald, that's the speaker. Birunji Powell, secretary. Honor Bagonza John, youth leader. Hane Roberts, Baronsi, Bridget, and Asime Frank, Kaheru Robert, and Katege Robert. You're most welcome. Thank you so much for coming. The certificate of financial implication that we've just gotten out of the library is here, which was raised by who? By Honorable Semujo Lee. Please go ahead.
Madam Speaker, I want to make this clear. The commitment of the budget is section 15 of the PFM, and this will be clear showing the cash flow of government, which is based on procurement plans, work plans, and recruitment plans approved by Parliament. And under 17, the expiry of appropriation. It says every appropriation by Parliament shall expire and cease to have an effect at the close of financial year for which it is made. At close of each financial for which it is made. And Madam Speaker, a vote that does not expend money that was appropriated, the vote for the financial at the close of financial year, they pay the money to the consolidated fund. And they say a vote that repays money under subsection shall revise the annual plan. This is now the process. So Madam Speaker, what I'm trying to raise, if the law says 4 months to lay it before the House, and because before anything, a supplementary we must approve, that means 4 months. If this was presented on 30th, I'm just giving an example.
4 months is for the schedule. The bill is for in the next financial year, subsequent year.
That's what I'm saying, Madam Chair. And Madam Chair, in the schedule, there's always an appropriation for it. And the appropriation, we want to say, this one, the Attorney General presented it on 30th June of 2023. It means 4 months should have been on the 30th November 2023. That means that's the time when the Auditor General would have really looked at it, so that when he issues the report on 31st December 2023, this thing would have been taken care of. And why we're raising this, you're bringing an appropriation at the time when the Auditor General, who gives a warrant, has got to be produced outside the accounts. And I say, Attorney General, if there's a problem in the law, you must deal with it. Because these things you're raising are very dangerous, and the accounts are closed. And for me, I want the Auditor General.
There's information from your young brother. No, Masawa is a very brilliant boy.
I'm just trying to give my senior, he's my senior, and I'm still learning from him some information. What he's raising is quite pertinent, but remember, the Auditor General's year ends in December.
Yes.
And what we are looking at is supposed to be handled in the next financial year, which is this financial year. Actually, what we are doing here is more of a post-mortem. There is nothing we can change. So we are just consolidating, adding all the schedules and putting them into one bill. No, I'm trying to explain.
No, let Masaba finish.
Let me finish.
Let Masaba finish.
Let me finish.
Let Masaba finish.
When you look at like the figures we've raised, the likes of money going to Munyonyo, where the money was spent, and whatever was not spent was taken back, was swept away to the consolidated fund. So what we're actually doing is just adding the totals and putting it into one bill. I think there is nothing more we can do to change this unless it is us to propose to amend the law ourselves. But what we are doing is a done.
This young man has a bright future.
No, Madam Chair.
Honorable members.
Madam Speaker, Madam Chair, before you rule.
Honorable members.
I want to make a correction. Looking for the accounts of 2024. We are looking for the financial year 2022-24, which ended on the 30th.
23.
Yes.
22, 23.
That's what we're saying, 22-23, which ended on 30th June 2023. The Auditor General, the one that the younger man is raising, is basically when the Auditor General is supposed to submit the audit report. The audit report was submitted on 31st December 2023. So I wanted to help the younger man to know the figure, the years. What we're raising
is okay.
So the younger man, this information is a misinformation.
Thank
There's
you.
no correct feature.
Honorable members, I put a question that the supplemental appropriation bill 2023 be read the second time. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The supplementary appropriation bill 2023, bills committee stage.
Honorable Nathan Nandala, Honorable Nathan, first come back. The young man is learning from you. He's learning. Clause 1.
Clause 1.
I put a question that clause 1 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I put a question that clause 2 stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Schedule.
I put a question. You have a...
Madam Chair, amendment of the schedule, column 1 of the schedule on recurrent expenditure. The committee proposes to amend column 1 of the schedule by replacing the words financial year 2020/2021 with the financial year 2022/2023 in the following votes. Votes 005, 112, 114, 115, 117, 165, 302, 303, and 306. Justification is to correct an error as this supplementary appropriation bill relates to the supplementary expenditure estimates for the financial year 2022-2023. 2, Madam Chair, Also to amend column 1 of the schedule by replacing the words financial year 2018-2019 with financial year 2022/2023 in the following votes. Votes 010 and vote 414. Justification is to correct an error as this supplementary appropriation bill relates to supplementary expenditure estimates for financial year 2022 and 2023.
Minister.
Madam Chair, I agree with the committee.
Thank you. I put a question that the schedule be amended as proposed. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
The schedule as amended.
I put a question that the schedule as amended stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Title.
Madam Chair, amendment of schedule on column 2 to replace the entire column 2 of the schedule to the bill with amounts contained in Annex A attached. Justification is to align the figures indicated in the bill with the actual figures that were approved by Parliament. I'd like to move.
Thank you. And since we had already put a question, the Hansard should be able to pick all the figures that have been mentioned here and include it. Yeah. So the people drafting will include it. Title.
Title.
I put a question that the title stands part of the bill. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Motion for resumption of the House.
Honourable Minister.
Madam Chair, I beg to move a motion that the House do resume and the Committee of the whole House reports thereto.
I put a question that the House does resume and the Committee of the whole House reports thereto. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Report of the Committee of the whole House.
Honourable Minister.
Madam Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the whole House has considered the bill entitled the Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2023 and passed it with amendments.
Motion for adoption of the report of the Committee of the whole House.
Madam Speaker and honorable colleagues, I beg to move a motion that the report from the Committee of the whole House be adopted.
I put a question that the report of the Committee of the whole House be adopted by this House. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Bill's third reading, the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023.
I beg to move that the Supplementary Appropriations Bill 2023 be read for the third time and do pass.
I put a question that the Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2023 be read the third time and do pass. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act titled the Supplementary Appropriation Act 2023.
Title settled and the bill passed. Congratulations. Honourable members, we will suspend the House for 2 hours. 2 hours, that's what time? We'll be back at 3:30. Honourable Nathan, don't forget. to come back to the House, and members be around. This time I'm going to count the members who are around, and then I will act in another way. Thank you.